In this video, I'm out here on an early morning set at the tail end of the season, and I got my muzzle loader in tow. It doesn't take very long to get into the deer, and once I knock one down, I know I have to make some venison steaks. Let's get after it.
My name is Matt, and I live for moments like these. Guys, I killed the biggest buck of my life this morning. I'm far from an expert, but using persistence and a little bit of luck, I'm able to make some pretty cool things happen. I do my best to capture the entire harvest, the kill, the prep, and my favorite part, the meal. Because to me, it's more than a hunt. It's man versus deer. He is a mass monster. Holy cow.
What's up, guys? Welcome back to another man versus deer video. If you're new to the channel, I really appreciate you guys taking the time to check out one of my videos. And if you like hunting videos in the style of catch, clean, cook, if you like gear reviews, if you like hunting as much as I do, you're gonna want to subscribe. You're gonna want to hit that notifications bell. Promise you won't be disappointed. I'm out here this morning with the old muzzleloader. I got a couple of tags in my pocket. I still got a buck tag and I got a doe tag. I would be overjoyed to fill either one of those this morning. I've put myself at the bottom of a series of draws. It's kind of like a hub. And just over the hill behind me is a place that bucks like to bed. But the main reason I'm here is that this piece of the property has had zero pressure. And everywhere else on this property that I'm on has been hunted to death. So my main hope is that there's a buck over here using this area and that I'll be able to slip a hollow point in him. But I would be just as happy to take a big, nice, mature doe too. Either way, hoping to fill a tag this morning. It's December 31st, so we're really late in the season. Just came off of a really nasty, cold, hard snow and some rain. And so the woods have this damp, quiet feel to them. Got a breeze that's blowing every once in a while. But I'm in a really good spot, zero pressure. I know we'll see some deer. Hopefully we can put a shot on one. It's kind of neat to sit here and think about the difference in like being out here in the early bow season and then being out here now towards the tail end of the season. And it just seems like the early season is so much louder. You've got acorns falling, you've got things running around eating everywhere, you got the rut, you know. And then you fast forward to late season. Not that, you know, there's a significant amount of animals that have not made it through the hunting season. Survival's kind of harsh. Food is scattered, so everything is like scattered out. And it's just like way quieter and way calmer. Very, very peaceful in a way. Not as much action for sure, but still love being out here. Well, guys, I had a pretty eventful 10 minutes. Had some deer come in behind me. They were moving pretty fast. I think they smelled my ground scent. Couldn't really see what they were to pick one out because they were going through some cedars pretty fast, but that didn't pan out, so I sat back down. 10 minutes later, some other deer run right on top of me from the front, and one of them gets within like 20 yards and pegs me. The other one, which is the bigger one in the back, has no idea I'm here, so I just kind of slowly raise the rifle, put the crosshairs on the one in the back. It's quartering to me. Don't like those shots, but it's the one I had. And lined it up and squeezed off. And I would have expected with this big of a bullet as I'm shooting that she would have fell over right there, but she didn't. So I'm going to slip forward, confirm that I hit her, and maybe start some tracking.
Well, guys, I still have yet to find a drop of blood, but I see my deer laying here. Ran about 50 yards, give or take. And I still have yet to find a drop of blood. Oh, there's other deer running away. No blood at all. Well, guys, I got a big mature Missouri doe on the ground, and that makes me a happy hunter. Very, very thankful. I want to give all the glory to God for creating all these animals for us to chase, and then just allowing us to have moments like this one that are super awesome. It's really, really cool to be able to come out here late season and see some success, especially with how hard the deer get hammered on this place. There's a lot of deer that have been taken off here, and they receive a lot of pressure, so plan worked out exactly how I wanted it to. Came into the only part of this property that I thought had zero pressure, and you know, case in point, it was packed with deer. Seen a total of 8. This was the biggest doe I seen out of any of the groups, and I was fortunate to put a decent shot on her. Quartering shot, a little bit high. I was uphill, you know, so it was going to exit down and low, but I was super surprised there was no blood when I was tracking this deer. I just started walking the way that I knew she had ran, and you know, 50 yards up the trail, here she was with the other deer still with her. They kind of blew and ran when I approached, but I've got a little bit of a job. I'm gonna quarter her up using the gutless method. I got my frame pack with me, so I'm gonna pack her out as opposed to dragging her using a cart. I think that's gonna be the best method with how far I am in here. And then I am probably going to eat some of this deer tonight. Don't know what I'm gonna make yet, but we'll figure that out after we get her out of the woods. Alright guys, before I tell you all about the gutless method, I do want to give a few disclaimers. You are going to leave a large carcass laying around. This could potentially anger a landowner or break a law if you're on public land. So check the regs, check with the landowner, make sure you're not going to do anything that's going to get you in trouble or make you lose permission to your favorite hunting property. Lastly, this is a big carcass you're going to leave laying around, so it could potentially attract some predators into your hunting area. I would not do this in your honey hole or an area where you know is a buck's bedroom, because it is going to bring a lot of predators in and it could ruin hunting there. With that being said, this is an awesome method. I do plan to use it again as many times as I can. It's by far the most effective way to get a deer out of the woods, in my opinion. I start the process with an incision behind the back legs. I run that incision all the way up the middle of the animal and up the neck. I skin the hide up and over the back of the animal and around the front legs as I do so. I'm then going to basically remove the deer in quarters. I'm going to take the front shoulder off, the back ham off. I'm going to remove the front part of the leg at the joint using just a knife. I'm going to remove that back strap. I'm going to get all of that good neck meat and any other loose meat that I can, and I'm going to repeat that process on the other side. The 2 front shoulders went into one bag, the back hams each went into their own bag, and all the other loose meat went into one bag, cinched up really easily onto my pack, and it was an easy way to get this animal out of the woods. Welcome back to my kitchen, guys. It's been a few days. I got that deer meat aged, and we are going to cook up some filet mignon style deer steaks with some bacon wrapped around them, and it's gonna be delicious. I wanted to take a second and let you guys know that I am an Amazon affiliate, which just means I'm gonna have some purchase links in the description. So if you wondered what kind of knife I use to break the deer down, what meat bags I purchased, the type of pack I use to pack it out, the scope on my muzzleloader, all of that stuff is gonna be in the links in the description. If you click on one of those links and make a purchase, I do get a small kickback off of that. So if you're curious about any of the gear that I use, that is a good place to start looking. Now, onto the cooking part of this video. This is an idea I really wanted to do for a long time, and I got the perfect deer for it. But what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna take a big section of this back strap, I'm gonna clean it up, I'm gonna slice it into about 2-inch thick medallions, and we are going to make some filet mignon style steaks with bacon wrapped around it and the whole works. I think it's going to be really delicious. Let's get started. All right. First thing I'm going to do is cut this baby in half. We're using one whole back strap. You'll notice the meat looks really red and good on this thing. A lot different than most venison you probably see. That's because instead of being aged in a cooler or butchered immediately, this thing was aged 3 to 5 days in my fridge. I've got a process I use for that I will do a video on at a later time, but in my opinion, it really helps the tenderness of the meat, the color, and ultimately the flavor, which is what we're after. I'm gonna trim this piece up, remove any fat, any silver skin, any of the corners that need trimmed up. I'm gonna do that, and we're gonna make this thing look as good as it's gonna taste later. I'm going to use a slice of bacon to measure how thick to make my fillets, and then I'm going to cut my fillets just a little bit larger than the bacon. That's going to make sure I have room to wrap a slice of bacon around each one of these, and it is going to make the flavor amazing. Once all that's done, I'm going to season liberally with Kinder's GSP seasoning. That's garlic, salt, and pepper. This goes good on any red meat. I don't care what it is. It's really amazing, kind of my go-to seasoning. And if you want to try this out for yourself, there is a link in my description you can click on to purchase. After that, we're going to slap one piece of bacon on each fillet. We're going to hold that piece in place with a toothpick, and we're going to preheat our oven to 250 degrees and get these things ready to go into the oven for a reverse sear. These things go into the oven at 250. We're going to pull them at about 80 degrees. I want to make sure that I have enough breathing room to get a good sear on these without worrying about overcooking them. Venison, when you're done cooking it, should be anywhere from 120 to 135. That's going to be medium rare to medium. One of the worst things you can do to venison is overcook it. They're coming out of the oven straight into a pan, a little bit of oil, a little bit of butter, a whole lot of sear. We're gonna make sure we get a nice good crust on the bottom and the top side of these. That's gonna take about 4 minutes per side. We're gonna flip halfway through, and as you can see, that crust is formed beautifully on the bottom side. It looks amazing, and it's smelling amazing so far. After a quick sear on the outside, these things come out of the pan, and we're resting them for 10 minutes. They look amazing. They smell amazing. I absolutely cannot wait to dig into these. All right, guys, the steaks are done. I let them rest for about 10 minutes. I did slice into one of them to take a thumbnail picture for the YouTube video, and I gotta say, I nailed the medium rare on these. They've also got a really nice crust on top. The bacon is just about the perfect level of doneness, and I have a feeling that these are going to be amazing. So I'm gonna take one of these pieces that I've cut into already, and we're gonna see what this thing is all about. Well, I can absolutely not wait to do that again. That was fantastic. On a scale of 1 out of 10, you know how I normally rank my wild game meals, this is a 10 out of 10. Nothing I would improve about it. It's cooked perfectly, it's seasoned perfectly, the bacon adds a lot to it. This is just about as fine as you can get with cooking venison, and it is delicious. I cannot sell this to you enough that if you haven't tried this, you really need to, and especially if you've got a friend or a family member that never has tried venison, this is a really good way to introduce them to that. Well guys, that pretty much brings us to the end of the video. I really hope that you enjoyed the content of the video. I hope you learned something, but more than anything, I hope that you enjoyed the video enough to share it with a friend or a family member. Don't forget to smack that subscribe button. Don't forget to hit that notifications bell so you know when I'm putting out future videos. And as this video closes, make sure that you look at the 2 videos that pop up. One of those videos is going to be a hunt for a really nice buck with nice mass. I harvest the deer and then I take him home and I make some smoked deer jerky. It's a really awesome video. If you haven't seen it, I would highly recommend watching that video. And again, that is going to pop up in the suggested videos as this one closes. Don't forget to check the links in the description if you're curious about any of the gear that I use or you would like to purchase some of the gear that I use. You can do so from the links provided in the description. If you do that, it does help me out a little bit too. I really appreciate you guys taking the time to watch a man versus deer video. Thank you and good luck in the woods.